Happiness through curiosity on the Ranveer Show. I want to bring up two names, Dhruv Rathi and Palki Sharma. Okay. The narrative from Dhruv Rathi and everyone who is anti-BJP is that we're living in a phase which is the start of a dictatorship. That is the opinion out there from the whole anti-BJP part of India. Palki Sharma was on the show and she spoke about the soft power of a nation and how the soft power does determine certain human decisions. For example, when you're talking about foreign direct investment increasing in India, at the end of the day, it's a bunch of people in a room. It's a bunch of people, often other nationality, that have a certain opinion on India. And definitely they have their own business agenda and their analysis of what's happening in our country. But perhaps a weakened image of India or a dictatorial image of India on the global map will sway their decisions against our country. Now, is this too generalized and too amateur a thought? Or this is where you're going with your narrative as well? That we need to, like globally, our reputation is taking a hit because of this whole dictatorial tag.
No, I think it's a much more practical decision that businesses make. Like China also, for example, as I said, China attracted. Let me put this in perspective.
Sure.
Today, India, if you look at the foreign direct investment India is attracting, it's about 1% of GDP or so. When China was doing well, it was attracting 4% of GDP in terms of that. Now, China also had a communist government, but the businesses and foreigners felt that they could go on the ground and do what they felt like. So it's less about this. As I said, we love to politicize everything, democracy versus authoritarian and stuff. A lot of it is about pragmatism. That if a foreign business thinking, if I go to India, can I get fair treatment to do what I feel like? Or am I going to be targeted and harassed by some authority from the tax department or some random query from there? Are my people going to not be, do my people want to move to India? Or maybe they won't move because the pollution so much. You have so many people today who say that we don't want to move back because of the pollution which is there, like in some of these big cities and stuff like that. So they're making those pragmatic decisions. They're not making decisions that, okay, if I put a business in India, how much growth can I get? What are my costs going to be? And who are the people who can go there and do this? So I think that the fact of the matter is that our foreign direct investment coming into India today is very low at only 1% of GDP. There are projects being announced, but the flows are still low. And we have to figure out on the ground, what's going on? Why are people not coming more into this country?
Why do you think people are not?
As I said, I offered one reason for it, that it's still a very difficult place to do business on the ground.
Can that be changed? Of
course it can be changed. You can sit down there and see, okay, what is it that they want? There can be an engagement. Okay, what is it that you need? Why do we need 10 permissions? If I'm setting up an office in India, why do I need 10 more permissions to set up an office in India compared to, let's say, setting up an office in Mexico or setting up an office in Indonesia? You can compare all these things. And don't go by these indices, ease of doing business, because those can easily be manipulated again. It's about, if it's not happening, let's sit down with these people and ask them why is it not happening? Why are we not getting more flows? What is it that you can do? To get it. Again, this is to make India better. Now, India is a very large market. We can do very well even without foreigners. I know that. That will be some of the comeback in the stock market. I've seen that the domestic investors are the ones who are lifting the stock market. Foreign investors have become more and more marginal, which is fine. I'm just looking for India to become better and better. Am I happy with the India's growth story today? Yeah, I think it's a pretty decent growth story. But my ambition as an Indian is that how do I make it better? How do I get more feedback? Don't keep shooting the messenger in terms of whoever the person is giving you the feedback. Yes, there are some messengers with ulterior motives, with political affiliations, that in any country that's the case. But as a government, my objective should be, how do I get the best inputs? And I think there's a lot of skepticism there that anybody who says even something nuanced or not, which is one-way narrative, generally that messenger is shot down.
I think the general sentiment is that, and I think you're kind of echoing the same sentiment, the government currently takes all feedback as a personal attack, which it's not.
Yes.
And the same mechanism of not taking feedback is what's harming the growth that we could see. And the government has done a fair job. They've done a good job in the last 10 years, but they could have done a great job with a few changes.
Yes.
So why not look at the third term as an opportunity to take feedback from the naysayers?
Yes.
Okay. Anything else you'd like to add to this?
No, I'd say, since you asked me, as I said, that my job is that of an observer, investor, and writer. I have no ambition of ever joining government because I feel that I'm not fit for any of that. But since you're asking me as an Indian speaking on this show, my job is to also say about what I've learnt from other countries and how to make an India an even better place. I love coming here, but I'd love to spend even more time here if I could. I'd love to not have to deal with pollution and things in winter and stuff like, Delhi where my family lives. It's just in terms of the, it's
Life
become an
quality.
Unlivable city in many ways because of things like pollution and stuff. A city I love and I grew up in. So I just want to, still see us get there. And I know that China also had a big pollution problem as it was developing. It cleaned it up now. You go to Beijing today, Shanghai today, there's no pollution problem.
How did they clean it up?
They took many steps again about controlling industries, who can do what in terms of that, but in terms of the fact that they prioritize people's lifestyles. That beyond a point that this is what we need to prioritize. And we need to do that, not get caught in political slugfest. It's the state governments should be doing this, the national government should be doing that. They resolve that. But it took a while even in China. I mean, as you know, I've in fact been quite pessimistic on China's growth in the last few years and stuff. But they did we have to give them credit for what? They had a big pollution problem. They've sorted it out. We have a problem today. We still are not doing anything to sort it out.
If you enjoyed this clip from the Ranveer Show, we've uploaded a ton of other clips related to a ton of other topics. So explore the channel because there's something for everyone.